Woo!
Yes, that's
Mark,
good.
that was deep, bro. All right. Welcome to another episode of Within the Game. My name is Aaron Wexler, and today I'm joined by the one and only Mark Haughton. Mark, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. So,
Yes.
so Within the Game is a podcast all about how to stay inspired. And I love talking to people in the athletic realm, in the spiritual realm, in the entrepreneur realm, who are just
Right.
finding ways to stay inspired. And that's what today's show is all about. So a quick intro for you today. Mark, you're a multiple time lottery winner, a law of attraction coach, and a subconscious mind educator. You help people utilize the power of their mind to achieve success. Your website is mindcenterworld.com and your IG is at Mark_A Haughton. Did I get that right?
Yeah, perfect. Mark
Uh,
underscore Haughton. Yeah.
Mark
Excellent.
underscore Hutton. Yeah, thank
You
you so
got it,
much for
man.
being here, bro. Appreciate you. And
Thank you.
we're gonna
Thank you for having me.
yes. And over the last, I'd say, year or so, maybe a
Uh-huh.
little less, I've been watching you on Instagram and YouTube lives, and I just been kind of like anxious to get a solid chunk of time to talk to you about these topics that we're going to get into today. So
Uh-huh.
let's get into it right now, man. What does inspired living mean to you?
It just means living your best life purpose. That's basically what inspired living is, just living within the best ideal of your life in that moment. It's if I would describe it in one word, I would say living as an optimist rather than a pessimist.
Hmm. I love that.
That's
I love
inspired living.
I love that, man. I love starting with that question for everybody because, for me, that's what it's all about. In
Yeah.
whatever craft, that you decide to get into in your life, if there's a way that you can try to find a way to stay inspired on a moment to moment basis, to me, that's what it's all about, because that creates a ripple effect to everybody around you,
Hmm.
and so that's why I love starting with that question. I love your answer about that
Yeah, I love
because
that.
yeah, because everything's energy, right? And no matter what you decide to do, it's about how you control your energy and how you control your energy output. And I would love, before we really get into that, because that's what we're gonna do today, I'd love for you to share your story about winning the lottery multiple times, by being intentional and using visualization. Share that
Right.
story with my audience, please.
Right. So I think it was in 2015, was it in 2015, almost 2016, I won the lottery and I bought my dream car. It was a Dakar yellow E46 BMW M3. They only made 10 of them in the world. So it was a slick top. Still have it. But it started because I was so fascinated by how the universe worked, like, the subconscious mind, quantum physics. And I basically said to myself, I said, okay, look, so if I can if this stuff really works the way they say it works, let me put it to the test. So I decided to start applying it. I decided to work on my subconscious. Then I started to decide to visualize, and I would play the lottery. And man, it took about nine to 11 months doing that, and everything came out exactly as I did. I won the lottery and I bought the car cash.
Wow. Wow.
And after that, I kind of got this routine or rhythm going, and I started doing it again. I kept winning again. I would win like to play 4 ones. I'd see numbers, and it just kept going and going and going. I was like, wow, this is like a tapping into the matrix or getting into that field of the infinite possibilities. And I just kept doing it and doing it. It was just amazing how we can shift our reality in our world just by our beliefs and our intention and condition our unconscious or subconscious mind.
Yeah. Yeah. When I watch you on your Instagram lives and your YouTube lives,
Yeah.
this is the topic that everyone kind of wants to ask you questions about, right? Because
Hmm.
and even for the show, the topic of my show, the within the game, right? I
Yeah, I
just
like
think
that.
everything's a game, right? Life is a game, and the way you talk about how you have won the lottery or won these games and attract money it's just really inspiring to me, because what it means to me is that you wake up with the intention of just winning, right? Like you, and we've talked about this before on IG Live, like you just get into that frequency right away. When you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, right? And then it creates this expectation, and then it turns into belief. I was hoping you could expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? I think it comes down to, the secret. I was thinking about that for years, and I was like, okay, Mark, what is one thing that you can just say to let people know how this stuff works? And it comes down to, like, if you expect the universe to work in the way it works for you, then it's going to happen. So I just started to live in an expectation. Like every day I would get up, I would just expect things to go right for me. Listen now, I don't have a clue how they were going to turn out. Trust me, my regular mind tried to interpret or try to do it. I had no clue. But I just said, you know what? Let me just go live and expect. And however it turns out, it turns out. That's not my job, because I understood that my conscious mind was severely limited, but my subconscious mind was the key that holds everything. So, and what's called my higher self. So I started to just live in an expecting mode and let go. And I just started to believe. People say when you believe you're lucky, you believe this. That's what started happening. But what happened was, I just said one day, I said, look, there's two simultaneous realities going on at the same time. I was like, so do I want to live in a universe that's designed to serve me, or do I want to live in a universe that's against me? And believe it or not, that's how it works. There's two sets of people in this world. There's some people that believe that life is against them. I mean, there's always something happening in their life. They're victims. They can't control it. Life sucks and it's out of their control. And there's the other set of people who believe, like, life is here to serve you. It's here to bring you joys, bring you to your successes, bring you what you want. And that comes down to your perspective or your perception. And that's what turned on the light for me. I was like, wow, since my perception creates my reality, why don't I just say my mantra that I live in a universe that's designed to serve me? And I kept saying it over and over, and it got impressed into my subconscious. And then my life changed. I mean, the best part about doing this is just by being of service to others, like just helping people seeing their life change. That just makes me feel better, and it just gives you more feeling when you can be of service to others and see their results.
Right.
And that's it. That's the formula. I mean, that's the cheat code to the game.
I love that. So a big part of my audience is athletes and entrepreneurs. And what really helps us is to create these beliefs that you're talking about, right? That create beliefs that serve us, right? Because we're really what we want, whether we want to win the lottery, or we want to, have a championship performance, or we want to make a lot of money in our business, be successful. It stems from beliefs. And what you're talking about right now is that basically, if I heard you correctly, you said that you just shifted your beliefs. You created a new belief set, right? Like, and we'll get into mindset in a little bit, but like belief set. And could you expand on beliefs? Because beliefs are so strong, they just kind of like embody who we are about a certain thing, right?
Yeah, that's so true. The thing that we need to, a lot of people don't understand, is that we are a set of beliefs. Everything in our life is a belief, but it's a subconscious belief. Our beliefs create our reality. So, remember, a lot of things we were taught as young kids were beliefs that were impressed on us by somebody else.
Right.
So put it like this, like the best way I can put this. All right. Who you date, who you marry, what's your religious preferences, what's your political preferences, what's your view on money and all life. That's not your belief, man. That's a bunch of your family, friends, the media. That's not even yours. Think about that. Think about how deep that is. Who you're attracted to, who you're gonna marry, what political party, how you view life. It's not you. It's your parents. It's your grandmother. They influence you. People don't get that. They think that they're making a choice and they have the free will. It was placed in your subconscious from you were a kid because you seen your mom, how your mom talked to your dad. You see what your mom look like. You see what your dad recommend. You see what your granny is telling you what kind of woman. You see what the news, the media shows you what to date and how to live and how much money to make. And then you grow up and you think those are your beliefs. So all of us are walking around. We're not even ourselves. We're other people's beliefs.
Right.
And you see how it influenced your world. So that's to show you the power of beliefs. And the thing about beliefs are, it's a very simple game here. You know, there's really just two sets of beliefs, man. The one that serves you and the ones that don't serve you. But the problem is the ones that don't serve us, we automatically assume those to be real. So we
Right.
accept those and we fight against those. But has anyone ever just say, hey, man, what if I just choose a belief that serves me?
Right.
I don't care how it's going to come about. What if I just start believing like I'm lucky in the lottery? What if I
Mm.
start believing that I make good money? What if I start believing that I'm so good with women or men? What if I just choose a belief that I'm the best at what I do? What if I choose a belief that I'm the best in my sport, in my class, or in my group, or my talent? Whatever athlete stuff you do. What if I just choose a belief that I am that one? And if you do that every day, and I mean, you have to just keep believing and saying it or thinking it. That's going to be impressed in your subconscious. And guess what? You are going to become the very thing that you believe. Can be no other way.
Yes, man. Yes. And you know what's cool about that is this is a free will universe. So we get to choose. We get to
Yeah.
choose. And if a belief is not serving us, we get to choose a new belief.
But look, that's so important. You just said something, choice. Do you know a lot of people don't believe they have a choice?
Right.
They think their life is like just how it is. I mean, if you think about it, just like people, man, there's some people are for you and some people aren't. There's going to be people that that you can relate to, and some people you aren't going to be related to. You can't please everyone. You're not going to be so my grandmother would say, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, right? And that's fine. But guess what? It doesn't mean that you have to suffer. You can choose a new belief. You can say, well, you know what? I'm this, I'm that. You don't have to accept it because we live in a free multiverse, free will multiverse, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about winning mindset.
Yeah.
Positive self-talk, the energy of winning, talk about what that means to you and how you choose, talking about choice, how you choose that, how you choose winning mindset as you either play the lottery or you go on your IG lives or you build your brand or you just live your life. The winning mindset.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
The winning mindset means that I live in this universe that's designed to serve me. I'm the center of the universe. That means that everything is designed for me, around me, to influence me in a positive way. So every day I get up, my mindset is everything is working in my favor.
Mm.
Nothing happens to me. Everything happens for me. Repeat that. Nothing happens to Mark. Everything happens for Mark. What does that mean? It takes Mark out from the victim mentality, like, oh, this is happening to me. And it's important to know that because when we start associating things like, why did this happen? Why? Let's use, for example, relationships. You may have a bad relationship, you break up, or something happens. First question you ask is, why? Why didn't she? Why this? Why she did that? Why did she didn't like me? Why didn't she do? Oh, I want closure. But what you don't understand, what you're doing is you're perpetuating the same thing that you're trying to get away from because it's your unconscious mind that does the work. So when you keep saying, like, why doesn't this? Why doesn't that? Why? Why does that? Your subconscious believes that's what you want, and it gives you more of that.
Yeah,
So
man.
when to have the winning mindset now is to just know that, okay, I got to focus on what I want. So every day I get up, my mindset is, okay, what do I want? Can I see it? Can I mantra it? I use it in question format. I say, why do I live in a friendly universe? Why is everything working in my favor? Why do people love me everywhere I go? Anything you want. That's the winning mindset. The winning mindset is to expect every day that things are always going to work in your favor. The universe is not going to go against you. And if it seems like the universe goes against you, it's going to turn out into your favor. This is really important because it takes you out of the victim. When you're the victim, you don't have any control. See, but when you're like a deliberate creator, then everything becomes a learning, it becomes a positive thing for you when you say, why do I live in a universe that's designed to serve me? You know, why are things happening for me instead of to me?
Can you expand on that in terms of prosperity mindset? You know, because a lot of the audience wants to hear more about this lottery idea, right? Because it's exciting. It's
Uh,
exciting to know that, oh, if I'm a deliberate creator, can I just deliberately choose to win the lottery?
of course.
But yeah, right. Yeah, expand on that, because it doesn't necessarily have to be the lottery either. It could be like
Yeah.
success in general, right?
Anything is success in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, I mean, for the lottery, for example, it's something you have to decide you want to do. For, of course, then you have to believe it's possible. You don't even have to believe you could win. You just have to believe it's possible, but you could win. Start with that. And then you have to do the work. Just like athletes, they train, they live, they do anything. You have to do work with the lottery too. That means you got to make a budget. You got to buy your tickets consistently. You have to visualize. You have to be in that state of allowance. You got to let your subconscious mind know that, hey, this is what I want. And that by doing this over and over and get into that stuff, you're going to become entangled with that. When you become entangled, that means, let's say you become entangled with the lottery. That means everything in your life, when you get up in the morning, the universe is going to be shooting everything at you about lottery. It's going to give you tips. It's going to show you numbers, scratch offs. It's going to just bombard you with things that will make you a winner. And that's where you got to use your intuition, develop it more so you can pick up which one. Just like anything, like if you want to be a professional, sports person, a baseball, basketball, and you become entangled with that, then that's what the universe is going to do. It's going to show you all things, how you can get better. It'll give you downloads to show you like, hey, do this, do that. I mean, it's amazing, but that's how it works. That's how you have to do it.
And then
But the
yeah.
prosperity, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, Aaron.
Yeah, no, go
But
no. Keep
the
going.
prosperity part now comes in when you adopt that mentality that, all of this is really designed for me. I deserve all of this. I'm entitled to this. That's where the prosperity. The first thing about, look, if you want to get the prosperity, guys, if you want to win lottery, anything you want to do in your business, you first have to convince yourself that you deserve it. If you don't tell yourself you deserve it, it's not going to come into your life. So, Mark, how do I convince myself I deserve it? Very simple. You stop, you relax, and you say, I deserve it. I deserve all the things I want. That's it. Think about them.
Yeah, man. And just because you mentioned that, worthiness, self-worth, for someone listening who's like, yeah, I hear you, and I hear you, I got
Mhm.
all that, but I got that. Then what? I see, for me, like, I think the next level to that is like really honestly doing, you mentioned doing the work. The work for me is like allotting some time to just
Right.
talk to yourself and be like, I
Yeah.
deserve this. I am
Yeah.
worthy of this. Right.
Exactly. Or you can use the best scientific route. That's You can use the power of subliminals. So when
Right.
you go to sleep every night, you use these powerful subliminals that they target the subconscious, and they have all type. They'll tell you that you're worthy and deserving. If you want to become a best athlete, because listen, guys, everything comes through your subconscious. Your subconscious controls it, all the cells in your body. Makes your muscles grow, it can make you taller, it can give you talent, all of that. So if you know how to impress that thing, and you can do that with subliminals because it's more effective when you're sleeping. It's like you're in the theta state, and that's what you do when they hypnotize you. So anyone can do this. Anyone can go to bed tonight and change their whole life in a matter of days.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. You mentioned subconscious. Let's jump
Mhm.
into that right now. Let's talk about the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and ego. Right? Ego.
Right, right.
Lately, for me, Mark, ego has been is it's this topic that has been popping up a lot, right? And like understanding when my thoughts and actions are being derived from my ego rather than my
Yeah.
higher self, which is what you call, or your true self, or your
Yeah, your true self,
what
your authentic self.
yeah, your authentic self, or your inner being, what Abraham likes to say, or but I really
Yeah.
like what you say, your higher self. So yeah, expand on
Mhm.
that. Ego, subconscious mind, conscious mind, all that stuff.
Okay, well, yeah. So the ego is a part of the conscious mind. So your conscious mind is what gives you like rationality. It can accept or reject. It can rationalize. It's intelligent. It can make decisions. So that's why we call it the conscious mind. And part of the conscious mind resides what's called the ego. which is the identity of you, which is what it thinks you're good at, what it thinks you're not good at. And the thing with the ego is the ego uh, likes to be right and wants to be true.
Right.
So that's the thing about ego. It makes us feel like we're entitled or we're this special thing, or, when someone does something to you, oh, it bruised my ego. And it's very difficult to control that because it's something that you and I grew up and thought were normal. But, your ego sometimes is not your amigo, as they say, because it can really put you off because it only wants what it wants. It's very selfish. It wants its thing, doesn't care about anybody else. It just wants to prove itself. So that's the ego, that's the subconscious. The thing about the ego is it doesn't care about your happiness. It just wants what it wants and it's going to get what you want. And it loves to keep you safe, doesn't like change. And how it does that, it perpetrates fear. It puts memories and past and tells you why you can't do it. So you won't take the step. That's the ego. Now the subconscious is unlimited. Let me go back to the conscious. Your conscious mind can only process about 10 to 18,000 thoughts per day. Predominantly, all these thoughts you have are repetitive. They're the same thoughts. The subconscious, on the other hand, is infinite. It has no, you process about 2 billion bits of information per second in the subconscious. It controls all your heart rate, rhythm, your homeostatic system. The subconscious is connected to the universe, to your higher self. It only knows the present moment. Time doesn't exist in your subconscious. There is no past or future. It doesn't exist. Only thing is now. That means there's no dates, no months. Your age and all that is irrelevant. It only sees what's happening now. It's very powerful. It's a mind of action and habit. What it does, it looks for repetition. If something is repetitive, it accepts it and it programs it and it runs your life. Now, the interesting thing is that 98% of our life is driven by the subconscious. Here's what the subconscious does. The subconscious actually controls all of everything. It can trick your ego into believing it's controlling you. So your ego is lying to you. So whenever your ego does something, if you have a habit or something you just keep messing up and you're thinking, oh, it's me, it's actually your subconscious sending off some emotions and your ego is picking it up and decoding it as an actual action or habit, which is all coming from your subconscious. So your subconscious controls every area of your life. Now, the thing about the subconscious is nothing is impossible. It can create anything. It has infinite thing. All you have to do is impress it. It's illogical. The language is images, symbols, smells. It likes when you are doing something over and over again. That's the signal to change. That's the subconscious. Your subconscious can create anything you want. It can make you a millionaire, a billionaire. It can make you the best athlete. It also could be your worst enemy. It could make you unsuccessful. It can make you unhappy because it's illogical. It doesn't know good or difference between good or bad.
Yeah, man. Wow. Would you say that most of us need to start to reprogram our subconscious mind?
Yes, 90%.
Right. When, like I said, when I watch your content, man, I think that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to help all of us by reprogramming.
Yeah, I'm giving awareness. I'm giving awareness. Because I did it myself, man. It worked for me. That's how I won the lottery. That's how I do all the stuff I do. I changed my subconscious map of reality. I only put into it what I want to experience.
Right.
Yeah, and you have to do that by learning the language of it, which I just gave some description.
Yeah. And that's the power of the mind. You always talk about it in all your stuff. You're like, man, you guys, the mind is so powerful. And I'm starting to tap into that now. And I'm trying to share that with my audience too. Good. Because all of us, man, all of us are going through something. I actually just want to talk about pain for a second, right? Mm-hmm. Because all of us, whether it could be any kind of pain, it could be a pain from losing a game, right?
Emotional.
It could be emotional. It could be pain from experiencing what someone else did to us, right? Maybe it's beyond our control, but they did something and we're like
heartbreak. Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
It could be physical pain, right? Mm-hmm. But like when we experience pain, building off this topic of the power of the mind, the power of the subconscious, power of reprogramming, how do we reprogram that pain into not pain, right? Like how do we
Right,
and,
right.
and let me rephrase that a little bit.
Uh,
How do we use our pain constructively for our benefit?
that's a good point. That's a good question. All right. So the first thing you have to understand is you want to be aware of the pain. Don't want to ignore the pain. Pain, and just like any other stimuli, it's an emotion. It's a nerve. Now, here's what happens. Let's say emotional heartbreak. Okay, you meet maybe a girl, and you thought she was the one, and then you may find out down the line, oh, she was using you. Imagine what the pain of that. Like, oh, I thought this person was the right person for me. So what does that do? What can that do to someone? It can distort you because your whole image changes now. You don't your self-image is like, okay, am I really, is this me or that? Because now you feel like you're not yourself because you've been used, and that creates an emotional pain, right? So the next pain now would be a loss, like a sports pain. You had all this momentum and you trained so hard and it didn't work out for you. That also cripple your confidence now, right? So you see how everything is going back to self-image. So when it comes to pain, the key is the self-image you have. Understand what pain is. It's actually an illusion. Now, what do I mean by illusion? I'm not telling you not feeling it or anything like that. That's not what I mean. I mean, the big picture part of it is it has nothing actually happening in the present moment that you cannot change or control right now in your mind. That's what I mean by that. So despite, let's use a heartbreak, this person broke your heart or whatever, used you. In this moment, you're still fine. You're good. It's a memory now. It happened. It's gone. But the pain will tell you, oh, no, it's not, because in each moment, you're changing your frequency. You're not the same person you are. Like 2 seconds ago, that's not you anymore.
Oh, I lost it. I lost your audio for a second, Mark.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
The body is in a constant shift. And that's what you got to understand about pain, guys. It's temporary. It's not real in the sense that it's going to control your change. It's just an emotion. And in this moment, you're fine. Okay, you lost the game, but guess what? You're still good in this moment.
Right.
You're here. Okay, you got you got a heartbreak. It's fine. You're still here. Different folks, different strokes. People don't see things like that. So the thing to understand about pain is to accept the pain, but don't. My key is this: observe the pain, but don't absorb the pain.
Huge.
In other words, don't make the pain your self or put yourself down. Accept, okay, it happens. That's life. Things happen like that. People hurt people. You're going to lose, whatever, but you're going to be all right because you're going to bounce back because you're constantly shifting and moving in a moment. That mentality will strengthen you so that you can use that pain to push yourself now because you understand, okay, what it is. It's not going to tie me down. You're just going to make me excel.
I love that, man. I love that, man. Mic drop.
Yeah.
You know what it makes me think of, Mark? It makes me think of surrender and detaching from the outcome, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, because that relates to the lottery or winning a game or or trying really hard and losing, right? Or like you said, being heartbroken, from a relationship. But the outcome is something that I hear you talk about a lot. And maybe this is the appropriate time to get into that a little more. When you play these lottery games, or when athletes are going for it, how do you best detach from the outcome in a healthy way?
Right. So detach from the outcome is to want it, but don't need it. So the best way to detach is to understand that it is already yours. You've already won, and you're just going to let it come in. So it's a mindset, like I like to call it the I don't care method. That's what I call it. It's like, it's not saying you're not empathetic, but you just don't care about it. It's fine if it happens. It's fine if it doesn't, because in this moment, I am me and I'm good. And, just think about it. When you don't want something, they want you. Let's think about a person, right? remember when you wanted that person, they were not around. Then all of a sudden you lost interest. Like, I don't even want. They start chasing you.
Right, right.
That's everything because it breathes an energy of a subconscious thing. So it's important to do that. So detachment means just allowing whatever to be and accept that it's going to be okay. I'm going to get what I want. I don't need to know how it's going to happen. I'm just going to be cool with it. You learn from it. Just let it go. That's detachment. That's the healthiest way to be detached, is to understand it's already written, it's done, it's going to happen for me. Let me just go with the flow. Don't try to force or push. Just allow and just keep your mind in the present.
Man, I love it, man.
Mhm.
I love it. It's such a downstream type of mentality. Downstream
Yeah,
meaning easy, not fighting the current, right? Just going with the
no,
flow. I
that's
love that.
that's my whole philosophy of my teaching. We live in a universe that doesn't have struggle. Struggle is an illusion. Nothing ever struggles in the universe. They teach you that
Mm,
you have to struggle and push work and all that stuff and sacrifice and do all that stuff. You really don't have to do any of that, man. You have to just have the right mindset, the right perspective. Because if you look at the universe, I'll show you something.
yeah.
When you look at and I use this a lot in my illustrations. When you look at when it's rain, does the rain struggle to fall? Nothing stops it, it falls. How about the trees and the plants? When the grass grow, does the grass struggle to grow? It pushes right up to a concrete. Even on the road, you see grass. There's nothing that struggles in the universe. Everything is just abundant and happening. You plant a tree, the tree never struggles to grow. Matter of fact, some trees, they put something, the tree goes around it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's who we are. We're made the same way. So struggle is a man-made concept created by what I call the matrix. They tell
Hmm.
you you have to struggle. You don't have to do that. And what happens, the reason why you don't want to do that, because you're going to create a lot of resistance. You get your ego involved. You're going to start to try to force and push, which is going to take you away from it. So my philosophy is this. Here's how I know when things work, and I've been working like this. Um, follow the pattern. If you notice you're doing something and it's kind of like giving you resistance and it's pushing, if it's not like a nice flow, if it doesn't go, if you meet a lot of resistance, first time, yeah, second time, that's the universe is telling you, go another way. But what do? We take it like, we got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing. No, you don't have to do that. You can work smarter or you can work harder. That's the meaning of the flow.
Mm. Man, man.
Mm-hmm.
I want to jump into this idea of self-love and unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this on that IG live we did just a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, but let's dive into that a little bit more
Self-love.
because
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because to me that's the highest vibration. You talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
universe, you talk about the flow,
Mm-hmm.
but this idea of love, self-love, and
Mm-hmm.
then really ultimately unconditional love. I'd love to hear
Unconditional
your
love.
thoughts
Right,
on
right.
those things.
Well, okay. This is when you know you have self-love. Okay, let me give it. Let's use an illustration. Let's say in a relationship. Okay, you, you haven't gotten in a relationship. Let's say you meet somebody. Okay, a girl, a guy, girl. Okay, and you guys getting to know stage. Okay, and let's say you found out that person was like using you or something, right? And then you confront that person, and I'm making this illustration perfect. So I'm gonna put it. This person you confront is a narcissist. Okay, because I need to drive this home. So you know what a narcissist is.
Yep.
So you confront this person and you say, hey, this isn't going the way I want it. I'm not getting what I want. Well, I'm being used. Okay. And as a narcissist, what they'll do is they'll start to pick apart every fault in you, right? So they'll start to tell you stuff like when you say, hey, I figured out the game, the jig is up. I want to get out. They don't want to lose control. So what they do, they break it down. So they start telling you all the bad stuff about you. Oh, you're this, you're not that, you're not clean, you can't get this, you're not attractive, whatever they use. Yeah, I was using you. Da 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 da. But you're did everything to break you down. Now, when you truly love yourself, everything that they're saying to you, you are observing it, but you're never absorbing it because you know who you are, and that's the epitome of self-love. If you can have that, you have self-love. Now, if you let everything they say to you, and you start to think like, man, is it really true what she says? Am I this? Am I that? Oh my God, let me call my friend and ask him. You need to work on your self-love. See, self-love is having the ability to know and trust yourself and know that, hey, I am perfect in every way. I don't care what you say, that's your opinion. I'm still good. And I know what you're trying to do, and it's not going to break me down. That is self-love. Okay. Now, unconditional love is a higher level. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of us can't develop unconditional love until we get into a next level of consciousness. That means you have to get the ego really under control. And to get unconditional love, it means you have to exist in a higher state of consciousness, the 5D, where you no longer judge, you're empathetic, you accept people for who they are, what they do to you, or whatever happens, you don't take revenge, you don't get jealous. It's a really thing to challenge to learn. So I'm not going to tell you it's easy to have unconditional love, but it can be done. But the self-love is where you have to get. And unconditional love is also the ability to be empathetic to people. Like the example I use with the narcissist is to kind of feel, not sorry or brave, but kind of feel for them, because you know that what they're going through is a reflection of themselves, and you forgive them and you move on. That's unconditional love, to know that, to be the bigger person and to develop that.
Wow.
That's my
And
take on it too.
yeah, I love it. And would you say unconditional love is when you start to tap into that, that's kind of like the energy of the universe, would you say?
Yeah, that's the total energy of the universe. When you tap into unconditional love, um, think about it. When you have unconditional love, nothing is going to phase you, man.
Right, right.
Think about it. You can't be
Unconditional.
you can't be hurt
Right.
because you see everything. You know what everything is. You know, you're not going to judge. You're going to accept, and you're going to move on. It's going to be easier for you to get over stuff, because now you don't have that ego. The ego's there, but it's not that. It doesn't need the validation. It doesn't need to prove none of that. You just know, like, it is what it is. It happens. The best, the best will get played. No one's immune. You understand? Like, okay, it's, because what. Okay, if you want to develop unconditional love, here's an exercise you can do it. That'll help you develop unconditional love. Think about what we are. We are mortals in a physical body that's going to decay, and we're going to all be dead. In the next 200 years, none of this will matter. You don't remember what that person said or did. Plus, you're living on a planet that's in a shooting gallery in the universe. That there's so much meteorites that are looking to destroy this thing right now. And the grand scale of the universe, we are minuscule. That's going to give you unconditional love to make you understand, like, yo, life is too short right now as a physical body to take things like this seriously. So just chill and go with it. Okay,
Right.
you get hurt, you get played, it's fine. Bounce back up.
Yeah. Mark, lately I've been like taking these excursions out to look under the night sky, and I've been getting that perspective too. And it actually, I've heard that looking in the night sky and seeing the galaxies and the stars, it kind of creates a sense of
Man.
it kind of, I've heard that it can create a sense of insignificance, but for me, it actually creates more significance for me, knowing that I'm actually connected to all of it. I'm a part of it,
Good. Yeah,
and so it
that's
actually,
good.
yeah, it
Yeah.
actually increases my significance, and increases my energy, my sense of unconditional love, my purpose, my mission down here, because I'm like, man, I'm connected to all that. It's vast, it's huge, it's almost incomprehensible how big it is, but I'm connected to it. I'm part of it. I'm right here,
Yeah, and that's powerful. I love how you do that too. But it also, when you look in the grandeur of things, and you look out in the universe, and you see that we live in an infinite multiverse, and we're just like a tiny speck. It really puts things in perspective. Like, yeah, listen, okay, it happens. Move on.
Yeah.
Let's go on to what's going to help us. And I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy, because your mind's going to, if you're in relationships and stuff, you're going to feel it, but it's okay.
But
You
it's
understand the great picture.
I think what you're saying is like the mundane stuff, the stuff that like we
Yeah.
all get caught up on. That stuff
Mm-hmm.
we can be like, that's insignificant.
Yeah.
But if we can like feel the connection, feel how we are part of it, feel
Yeah.
how we're open like this, we're open-minded, our spirit is open,
Mm-hmm.
then that significance goes up. We're just a completely part of the whole thing, you know?
Big time. Big time.
And so that's a good segue to energy,
Mm-hmm.
because this is relatable to anyone in any discipline. Even when you're playing the lottery, even if you're trying to win games, you're trying to be successful, energy
Mm-hmm.
is so important. So I want to talk to you about creative energy,
Mm-hmm.
like the energy we have inside of us as
Mm-hmm.
a person, as a being of light, that energy,
Mm-hmm.
and then also how we use it creatively. So yeah, take those
What
tunes.
are our creative energy? How we use our creative energy?
Yeah, well, both, like how we like develop internal energy, and then how we use that energy creatively.
Well, yeah. So I mean, internal energy is generated through our heart and just through our entire body. And we have what I call our creative magnetic energy. That's the energy we use to manifest or create things in the universe. And those are stored in our cells. Our cells have polarity. So the energy we put out comes down to what we focus on. So when we focus on what we don't want, we lose more of our creative magnetic energy because it creates stress and cortisol, which can damage our immune system. That makes us more sick and get us in a state that we're not ourselves. But when we focus on what we want, we expand our creative magnetic energy because now our cells don't have to be depleted and we have ample energy to manifest. So when it comes to energy, the key is if you want to have more energy and to get what you want, just always focus on what you want and less on what you don't want. And your body will exude that. And also, plenty of sleep, eating right, all those things will help to keep your energy going. But the secret, I mean, look, we make things big, man. But what I've discovered about all this stuff is really simple game, man. It's the matrix in our media and the social media and just I call it the matrix, the mainstream. They 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 gummy things up to make it look difficult. But here's the game. The game plan is this. Look, if you can do this, you're going to be all right. If you practice just every day, focusing on what you want, mean like think about the stuff you want to create in your life in the end. Don't think about how you're going to get the stuff you want. Just know that, look, this is what I want, this is what I desire, and this is what I'm capable of having. You start to do that, the universe shifts for you because you're allowing your higher mind to do the work.
Okay, so what you're talking about right now is it's emotional intelligence, but it's also a little bit of the secret, which is law of attraction, which is
Mm-hmm.
like assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? Like getting
Right.
into that. So like I've heard you talk about, let's go back to the lottery for a second, because
Mm-hmm.
that seems to be a theme. I've heard you talk about the car before,
Mm-hmm.
where you're like, you know what, I bought before I had the car, I bought the mats,
Yeah, yeah.
I bought all that stuff, I put it in my closet, because I got into that feeling of like, you know what, I got this car already.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that and how that applies to everybody, no matter what we're
Well,
trying to get?
right, right. So the thing is like, okay, we live in a universe that everything you want is already there. So all you have to do is make space. So when I wanted that car, I bought these steering wheel covers. I keep
Mm-hmm.
it for a car I didn't have
Right,
nine
right.
months before. Bought the steering wheel covers. I bought the mats. But I knew I was going to win it. I knew it was going to happen because I understood the laws of the physics in the universe. That if I made space for what I want, it has to come in because the universe has already have everything. I'm entangled with that stuff, which is true because check it out. I'm made from the same particle as the car. The car is made from the same particle. Technically, I'm entangled with everything. So it's a part of me. Can't escape that. So if I allow myself to make space by doing it, like if you want a new house, go get something to represent the house. If you live in an apartment and you want a house, buy something that says welcome home. You want a new car? Go to the dealer, get a picture of the car, get a car key made for the car. Get the match, get a thing. You want to be the best athlete? Prepare as if you already won. Prepare that you're gonna, you got to do the things like you already have it. You want to get the athlete, go buy the trophy. Maybe there's replica trophies you can get to put in your house
Wow.
to say MVP, all that. Because your
Wow.
mind is so illogical, it's going to put you in a spot to get it. That's just how it is. That's called creating space.
I love that. I love that. Mark, just a few more things here, man.
Mhm.
Channeling. I've been really into this topic lately. I've been kind of fascinated with Esther Hicks, who channels this entity of Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar.
For sure,
Um,
right? Yeah.
I'm fascinated by watching how the process of the channel and then what comes out. Right, it's so articulate, it's so informative.
Mm.
It's really amazing. Where does that come from? Channeling?
Channeling comes from the higher self or the higher conscious mind. So it's from other uh, universal being or consciousness that existed prior to us that's still there. People call them gods, angels, higher self. That information, everything that's in the universe can't die or destroy. It has to come back around. So when you tap into things like that, you're tapping into beings that have been here centuries, billions of years, and you're getting information, and we're tapping into that. So
And can
every thought you process, when you put a thought out, it can't disappear. Every thought that ever existed is still out in the universe, and it has to come back around.
that's like karma, right?
Right, yeah. So that's what channeling is. So some individual, anyone can channel, but the channel you have to really be tuned in with meditation, with getting your subconscious mind clear these blocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
channeling.
I love that. It's so fascinating to me. And you
Mm-hmm.
said anyone can do it, right? Just
Mm-hmm. Takes practice, a little meditation. Anyone can do it.
wow, wow. Resistance. I know you mentioned it before, but if you could just go back through that just one more time and just talk about how to let go of resistance, push through resistance, like define. You said, I think you said like to define it, what it is, and then just to like power through it.
Resistance is just the ego wanting what the ego wants. Resistance is someone needing or wanting it more. That's all resistance is. It's something
Right,
that
right.
defines you need it. It's your security. All that's an illusion. So you already have it. It's there. So the key to resistance is this. It's a simple formula again. Look, stop needing and stop wanting and just let it flow. That's it.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens. If it's meant to be, it's gonna be. Don't push. Try to push. If it pushes back, let it go. Every disappointment is always for a good. The universe has so many angles it can get you what you want. But if you just keep tying to one thing, you're actually slowing up the process. That's what resistance is that so resistance is someone that don't know they've already got it.
Right, right.
That's pretty much it.
And basically one of the themes that this whole conversation is about is finding that flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is downstream. Resistance is more upstream. You're going against
Right.
the flow.
Yeah. The
um
resistance goes against the flow.
yeah, and so one, this is a question I've asked most of my guests that come on this show, which is,
Mm-hmm.
okay, when the flow happens, when you find yourself in the flow, um are you aware of it, or is it like after the fact, man, I was
No,
just
no.
really in the
Oh, you're
flow?
gonna be aware you're in the flow because you're gonna feel this sense of peace, nonchalantness, like nothing is gonna trigger you or bother you.
Right.
Everything is what it is. You don't get triggered easily. You're just observing. You're not absorbing it. You'll know when you're in the flow because your emotions will be so in check.
And is it something you can practice? Can you like
Of
intentionally
course.
practice, be like, you know what,
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah,
to be in the
yeah,
flow
yeah.
right now?
The easy way to get in the flow is to be in the moment. Is to get out of the past, to get out of the future, and see what's happening now. Focus your mind on, okay, what's this moment? Okay, what's the next moment? It's the easiest way to get into the flow is to, again, I say it again, focus on what you want.
Right,
Because
right, right.
anytime we focus on what we want, guys, it makes us feel good.
Mm,
Feel good is going to raise our vibration.
yeah.
And don't regret and stop living for regret. Like, I wish I had that. I wish. Don't do that. Just focus in the moment because your mind loves to put you in a regret, loves to compare with you. Just let it go.
Hmm. Dreams. How important are dreams, Mark?
Well, a lot of dreams are just gibberish dreams because your subconscious like just eliminates information. But but some dreams, the dreams you remember, they're messages. So yeah, a lot of dreams can be important. Um, but dreams are a way that our subconscious can talk to us and our higher self can talk to us. When you remember your dream, more like it's a message. If you don't remember the dream, it's probably gibberish. And what I mean gibberish is just a subconscious processing information and throwing stuff out.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Um, I, on a personal note, I used to have this dream when I was a kid that I've been actually trying to recreate now. And it was this
Mm-hmm.
very vivid dream where I could fly. And
Mm-hmm.
I've done some research, and there there's some people out there that have similar dreams of where you could literally walking down the street and you could just get up and fly. Do you have any insight on that? What's that about?
When you dream you can fly.
Yeah.
Well, think about this. You know that um, when we get into the dream world, we actually get into another dimension or a parallel world because your mind can't tell the difference between what is real or imagined. So most likely when you're dreaming, you're tapping into another dimension or another level of consciousness that a lot of we call it scientists are still trying to figure out. For example, they're trying to figure out, well, how can you dream something and it happened? How do you know this was going to foretell? And they still can't figure that out. And another one is, how can you dream people that you've never seen before? Because it's literally impossible for you to have a dream with somebody you've never seen before. Because remember, the subconscious can only, you can only dream of people that you've seen. If there's somebody you dream you've never seen, it has to mean they're from another universe, another dimension, or you've seen them before. Your subconscious cannot put people in your dream that you've never seen every day in your life. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
So if you have a dream and you've never seen a person, more likely you're tapping into maybe a parallel universe or parallel version. So
Okay,
it's
that
something like that.
wow. Wow. Um Ascending from 3D to 5D. Could you explain 3D, 5D, and where is 4D in there? Could you
Well,
explain
no,
all that?
4D is just time, dimension of time,
Okay.
forwards, backwards, past, future. 3D is ego. It's physical itself. 5D is higher mind, higher self, flow state, meditation, non-attachment. That's 5 dimension. 3D is lower self, trying to figure, push, validation, judgment, um, jealousy, envy. 5D is what you would call the unconditional self-love, empathy, non-judgmental, flowing, observing without absorbing. That's 5D.
Is there anything higher? Is there like a 7D?
I believe there are higher levels of that, and that's where you can get individuals who become like excellent channelers. Then you get people who can like do remote viewing.
Right.
They can do what's the other one they can do? They do remote viewing. They can do astral projection, astral travel. So I think there are levels. I think there's some that we haven't even discovered yet because our brains haven't even evolved to tap into those yet because we're still evolving. But for right now, I think we can only access maybe five, maybe 5 to 7 dimensions because our brains just haven't evolved enough where we can plug into the other stuff about the universe.
Man. So
That's my
this,
personal belief.
I love it, man. I love, and this whole talk, and we're coming to the end here, but this whole
Mhm.
talk is kind of like it's like having a spiritual journey. Like
Yeah.
it's like having a spiritual relationship with yourself almost. Would you say that's kind of
Yeah, it
accurate?
is. It is. Yeah, that's when you find yourself, you find your purpose in your universe. It is. I mean,
And
everything is a self. Nothing is outside of you. Everything is inside or about portrayed outside.
and how important is purpose and mission? And before you answer, the reason why I
Mhm.
say that is because I feel like I'm
Mhm.
starting to find mine, which is to inspire, to have these kind of conversations, to tap into this world, to
Right.
inspire others through this medium because I love this. I,
Hmm.
I feel like I'm in the flow when I do this. Um, but
Hmm.
for so many people out there, when I say purpose and mission, they might be like, "What's mine? Do I even need one? Do I even need to have a message? All that kind of
Right.
stuff." How?
Yeah. So listen, I believe all of us have a purpose and a mission. And the thing is, that when to find your purpose, people say look for it. I say the opposite. I say don't look for your purpose. Your purpose will come looking for you.
Hmm,
Just focus on like what you want.
cool.
And usually that's good tied to your purpose. But don't try to figure out it because purpose comes when it's supposed to come. When you go looking for it, it's not going to find it because you're chasing it.
Right.
So when you just allow it to come to you, that's when you find your purpose. And I believe that we all have that. So the key to finding purpose is to allow it to come to us by remaining very in the present and just focusing on what we want. And usually your purpose will be tied to some kind of your passion, right? So if you just focus on that and stop trying to look and say, where's my, it comes to you.
Right. Yeah. Bashar would say, you know, follow your highest passion, your highest excitement.
Yeah. That will always be a key to your purpose and your, what you call your heart's desire, your heart. And then it'll find you. But when you start looking, you're going to miss a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to try to look. It'll find you. And my purpose found me, you know. I was a chef, man. I didn't know 5 years ago I'd be doing any of this stuff.
Right.
Thought I was going to be, went to culinary school. I was an executive chef, sous chef, working at a nice hotel. Everything was cool, man. But my purpose came. See?
Right.
So that's how it works. You're going to be awakened when the time is right for you. You trust me, you cannot miss it. You're not going to be late. You're going to find it. Just follow your passion.
And I believe a huge key, a very important key to all of this stuff that we're talking about, but specifically to what you said, which is following your passion, is learning how to listen to your intuition, those intuitive nudges. Like for me, like I was intuitively nudged to listen to your content, to follow you, you know, and I feel like I'm a better person for that now. And now it led us to this podcast, but that intuitive nudge, right? Like those little nudges that say, hey, go left or go right, or talk to this person, or say no, or go there, you know, like talk about that for just a second.
Well, yeah, intuitive nudges there's nothing by chance there. Everything happens because it was set up by us. Like when you found me, this was all done before, because everyone that's on my platform, everyone you ever meet in your life, you've met them in a past life before. Because we come around this stuff so infinite. So when you connect with a person, don't think like, oh, it's because it's something that happened eons ago, or you decide to come back, or you say, hey, I'm going to meet you when you do this. I'm going to figure this out. And that's intuition's a part of that, because intuition is knowing something without knowing how it's to know it, but just know it. That can only occur because something has already occurred. So because your ego can't pick that up. So that's why you tune into it. So that's what intuition is, just knowing that you know because it has already occurred. And your mind can't decipher that. This can only come through an emotion or a higher mind.
That's deep. All right, before we sign off, Mark, I want to do this one little exercise with you, and it's called a rampage. And so basically, I'm asking for very short responses to these concepts. I'm gonna say they could be one word, and if there's something that you want to take a little bit farther, that's fine. But I'm looking for short answers. All right, here we go. Love.
What do you mean, like short answers as far
just
as
anything
like
that comes to mind? Yeah, just like intuitively things that come to your mind when I say these words.
Okay.
Love.
A peace.
Belief.
Faith.
Health.
Wealth.
Family.
A person, inner self, inner love.
Clarity.
Spirituality. Acceptance.
Confidence.
Self-assured. Knowing the self.
Creativity.
Intuition.
Mind management.
Present moment awareness.
Bold action.
Inspired action.
Staying inspired.
Focusing on what you want.
Winning.
Accepting it's already done.
Wealth.
Health.
Being happy.
Peace. Success. Clarity. Health.
Following your passion.
Allow it to come to you.
Following your highest excitement.
Patience.
Having fun.
Being in the moment.
Positive impact.
Being of service to others.
Identifying your mission.
Purpose and goals.
Meaning of life.
It just is.
It just is. And so it is. Aho.
Woo! Yes. That's
Mark,
good.
that was deep, bro. That was powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. Before we go, mention any websites, any social media handles, anything you'd like for your own promotion.
Just find me on YouTube, Mark Haughton. I mean, you plugged everything in the beginning. That was real cool.
Okay, cool. I'll leave a link to all this stuff. To you, the listener, I say thank you very much. I appreciate you being a part of this amazing conversation. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you soon. Mark, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you very, very much. Peace and blessings.